All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Randy here, the RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you a dynamite video today. We are playing the Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and in this video, we are covering the most requested topic of the season, Armored Sauron. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the build to beat. This is the second strongest Retaliate build in the game. The first strongest, of course, being Theoden with the Fallen. However, this Sauron Berserker build is going to be the one to take names and slay faces. Let's get into it. First things first, give me that like and sub. Here it is. Thorin, ladies and gents, I'm fighting against a whaled out Thorin, very strong here. Okay, good units, good gear, a lot of damage output, domination, reducing my commander's damage, +6 attack. These guys are in a great place to absolutely punch me directly in the face with +6 damage output, okay? Thorin as well, very, very chunky commander. He's very thick. He puts out a lot of damage. He's going to be giving great stackable bonuses to his army while punching my units directly in the face very hard, okay? So, this is a great report for Armored Sauron, because Armored Sauron is not great. Well, really, no Retaliate build is really great against an enemy commander damage dealer like Thorin. Of course, Thorin also has a lot of bonuses for his units, but he does have several high damage abilities here, which make him kind of a well-balanced, versed commander, okay? He'll deal good damage for both his commander, and he'll have strong damage for his army. However, against this Mouth of Sauron, we'll talk about why he got the whoopied, okay? So, here it is. Armored Sauron is fantastic. So, I had to put all of my best gear on him. I don't just have 10 Reckonings lying around with 5 stars. I have one that I rotate, and he has all my best gear, okay? So, Reckoning, +3 attack, 60% counterattack from Retaliate, okay? Normal auto attack is reduced by 70%. It's important to remember those numbers. We'll talk about how those calculate in just a second, okay? The chest piece is going to be plus HP and damage mitigation on my Uruk-hai. You can use any purple chest that gives defense and damage mitigation, right? It's fine. The Berserker Gaze I like because it gives plus HP, plus attack, sorry, and it gives the curse debuff, but you can really use any helmet that you want. You don't need anti-crowd control because you already have stun immune on your berserkers, and you're just here to retaliate. You don't care about madness, all right? Then we have Pursuit here, and plus attack on the Palantir of Orthanc. This accessory is going to be best in slot. Having Pursuit for the first 3 rounds is really key to beating commanders like Gandalf the Grey, Gil-galad, anyone like that with a lot of avoidance abilities, okay? You're going to want Tactical Mark for Pursuit. Now, the units, like I said, I'm running Berserkers. They have +7 attack in this particular report here from the gear. Okay, they have +4 HP from my R5 skill, +3 HP from the equipment for a total of 7+ HP, making them very thick. Then they have a huge amount of plus defense from their inherent Indomitable ability, which is +20 defense, okay? They have 20% bonus damage for the first round that slowly decreases as the rounds go on. So, of course, the first couple rounds of the fight are going to be the strongest, okay? Now, for Armored Sauron's skill set, what we have here is the Lidless Eye, which is the R5 ability, giving his units plus 40% damage dealt. Okay, let me get the calculator out so you can understand the math on how these different attacks calculate, and then we'll walk through the report and prove it. All right, Lidless Eye, plus 40% damage, plus 10% HP, really strong. Then we have Magical Barrier, which will be about plus 40 defense with my focus. And then we have Morgul Commander, reducing my damage received by 14%. So he makes these units very, very tanky, okay? Dark Lord is a debuff. This is a debuff against the enemies. It's different from the buff on my units. This is the debuff applied in a different location in the formula, okay? So this is going to increase the damage that my enemies receive by 30% at the end of the equation, okay? We have a heal here from Soul Siphon, a little bit of damage, a little bit of healing. This will be about 6k healing every couple rounds, 3, 6, and 9, 18,000 healing over a couple rounds. I have points in Lord of the Rings for the guaranteed stun. I have points in Black Art for the anti-heal, and I have points in to the Focused Wrath for madness. Any extra points I just stuck into the enemy to reduce the commander stats, okay? Now, let's see how that actually performed here right now. Let me just scroll up and see if I've been attacked. I've been attacked recently. I will not bother reinforcing that. Okay, but yeah, he just slays everything. Let me get back to that report we were just looking at, if I can find it. Here it is. It's a different report. I killed that Thorin a couple times. He kept coming. He just kept sending him in. All right, so here we go. He couldn't believe that I was whipping him so good. All right, so as far as this report's concerned, you can see here Sauron with 66k damage. Not too bad damage output from the commander himself. Then we have 256,000 damage from my Retaliate Berserkers, okay? As far as the damage output per round, we're going to talk about the buffs. Let's talk about how Retaliate calculates out, okay? So first of all, let's talk about the auto attack. Sauron is going to have minus 70% reduced auto attacks on his units, okay? So that's going to put us at an additive deduction, if that makes sense. So we're minus 70% additively, okay? Then he's going to have plus 40% from Lidless Eye, and then plus 20% from Fanaticism. So now, at the end of the additive subtractive equation of self-buffs and debuffs, we're now at 90% auto attack damage, okay? So 0.9, let's plug that in there. All right, so 0.9, then we multiply the Dark Lord in there as an after effect multiplier against the enemy. Now we're going to multiply this by 1.3. So our total auto attack damage with Sauron's bonuses is going to be 117%. Of course, this is pre-mitigation by the enemy, so the enemy can completely mitigate this and change this, but I'm just saying, on paper, this is how much damage my auto attack is going to deal, okay? It's going to deal 117% auto attack damage. Retaliate, especially with 5 stars, is so strong because it's going to be dealing 0.6 damage, right? So we have 0.6, okay? We're multiplied by this fantastic abilities here, the 0.4 and the 0.2. So now we're basically at 1.2, right? Okay, so we've added, we've multiplied, we've added the damage bonuses here, so it puts us up at 0.96. I said 1.2 before, I was incorrect, sorry. But basically, when you're multiplied by your 60% additive damage bonus, you're dealing 0.96 damage per Retaliate, which is almost a full auto attack. Then we add that in with the Dark Lord and multiply it again by 1.3. Now we're at 1.248, call it 1.25. So we're basically dealing 125% damage on every Retaliate, 117% damage on every auto attack, okay? So you'll actually see in this report the Retaliates deal slightly more damage than the auto attacks on the same targets, which is crazy. So that's the strength of this build, okay? Here we go. Ram Rider attacks the Berserkers. Okay, Berserkers counterattack for 22,490. Then the Berserkers auto-attack the Ram Riders. This is a great comparison, okay? So they are dealing less damage. I also seem to have it seems like I got a lower damage roll, so it's hard to compare exactly apples to apples without knowing where in my damage range I rolled. But this makes sense. High damage roll right here. This is probably max damage. Mid damage roll right here. 117%, 125%, okay? And we'll see that happen later. Here's the Iron Warriors with their huge defense, still getting hit for 19k. Okay. Here's max. This should be good. This should be good. I now got a max damage roll in round 2. Okay. Let's see what happens here. So Berserkers hit the Ram Riders for 20,973. They auto attack the Iron Warriors for 13,498. Then they retaliate the Iron Warriors for 17,584. Okay, so really a lot of damage here. Just coming out and punching these guys directly in the face. Okay? And that's the video, guys. I mean, there's not a whole lot else to look at. Here in round 3, I'm going to land my stun with Lord of the Rings. I'm going to drop stuns on these guys. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, there's the stuns. We have Black Arts for the anti-heal. Then we're going to have Focus Wrath applying Madness. Then I'm going to have Sauron. Here's with that 6k healing nuke from Soul Siphon. So really, absolutely phenomenal in the ability to put out damage and sit down and not fall over. Okay, so that's the video, folks. I love this commander. He's definitely one of my favorite commanders, one of my favorite evil commanders. Like I said, this build is actually a little bit weaker than the Fallen Retaliate Theoden build, because Theoden, for example, let's just pull up a Theoden report and I'll just walk you through the math on that so you can understand where I'm at. So Fallen is 35 to 40% damage, right? Let's get the calculator back out. All right. So 30 plus, 35 plus 40, divided by 2, we're at 37.5 damage, okay? So 15 divided by 37.5. This is basically a 40% damage bonus to Fallen, okay? His R5 is a 40% damage bonus to Fallen. Really any cavalry, right? Any cavalry get that huge damage bonus. It will change slightly depending on the cavalry's base damage for how much of a percentage increase it is. But on Fallen, it's a 40% increase. Then we have Rohirrim here, which is going to increase by another 42, okay? So now we're up at 82% increased damage. This is actually 12% more damage bonus to your cavalry than you gain from Armored Sauron's bonuses, which is only 0.7. So we have 0.7 versus 0.82, okay? The only difference is Theoden does not apply a 30% damage received by the enemy debuff, okay? So you're missing that multiplier at the end. Instead of getting that multiplier, you're getting a little bit higher base multiplier, which is fine. But he fights that using the Mounted Combat ability. Mounted Combat ability is a 20% increased chance to deal 100% damage, which at the end of the day multiplies your damage by 20%, okay? So you're almost overall effective damage pretty close to where Armored Sauron's at with his retaliates, right? So you're seeing just absolutely huge damage bonuses from Theoden's abilities, plus his healing and his defensive capabilities, right? He's very, very strong defensively. He also has armor penetration from Chaotic Retreat. So that's why I'm saying Armored Sauron, yes, very strong, beautiful commander. Theoden Retaliate with Fallen units is actually still a little bit better, okay? So, that's the video, folks. I don't want to get too much further into it. You understand what's happening here, okay? I love you all a long time. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Randy out.